On this video, I have worked my way up to Genesis chapter 1, verse 20, and I'm going to be reading the Hebrew, translating it into English, and then doing a brief commentary with a New Testament application. It reads, Vayomer Elohim yishretzu hamayim, sheretz nefesh haya, va'ov ya'ofev al ha'aretz, al penei Rakia HaShamayim. And God said, let the earth, or let the waters swarm with swarms of living souls, and let the birds fly over the earth upon the face of the expanse of the heavens. As we think about this, notice God's great creative work of creating living souls in the waters and the birds that fly and how they are so different. We've been watching on the zoo show on TV. It's sort of amazing to me, all the male and female animals, water animals and birds. It's just there had to be a creator. I'm convinced of it. How else could that be? We're seeing his great power. And by the way, there's some beautiful literary assonance here. And the Lord God said, let the waters swarm with swarms of living souls, the of Ya'ofev, and birds, let them fly above the earth. All the way through here, it's just beautiful Hebrew. So now I'm coming to Genesis 1:21. Vayivra Elohim et hataninim hagedolim ve'et kol nefesh hachaya haromeset asher sharatzu hamayim leminehim ve'et kol of kanaf leminehu vayar Elohim kitov. So as we render that, and God created the great sea monsters and every living soul which creeps, and the waters swarmed to their kind, and every winged creature to its kind, and God saw that it was good. So as we think about this verse, unlike Baal or Baal, God does not struggle with the great Leviathan or sea monster. He just creates many of them and puts them in the waters as their place of permanent abode. So again, we're seeing God's greatness in creating great sea monsters and how that he alone allows them to have a place to swim and takes care of them. He does not have to battle with them as Baal or Baal did. So then we come to verse 22. The Hebrew reads, Vayavarek otam Elohim lemor, paru uravu umil'u et hamayim bayamim, v'ha'ov yirev ba'aretz. And God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply and fill the waters in the waters, and the birds, let them multiply on the earth or above the earth. It's interesting here as we look at this verse as well. The lesser is blessed by the greater. The Lord is the source of fertility over all of his creation. He alone is the source of life. And as I'm applying it to the New Testament, it is interesting that in John 1, Jesus is the agent of creation as the second person of the Blessed Trinity, and in him is life eternal, in John chapter 1. And then in verse 23, it reads, Vayehi Erev, Vayehi Boker, Yom Hamishi. And there was evening, and there was morning, day 5. One should not worship birds or reptiles, but the eternal Creator as Lord. I think this is clearly what the text is teaching. Then we come to verse 24 of chapter 1 of Bereshit, or Genesis. It reads, Vayomer Elohim Totsei ha'aretz nefesh chaya lemina behema v'remes v'chayato eretz lemina vayehi chen. And God said, let the earth bring forth living souls to its kind, domesticated beasts and creeping things and wild animals to its kind, and it was so. So as we look at this particular day, animals produce after their kind by the power of God. They are not to be objects of worship again, but the Lord only as their divine creator. And I think this is one of the key things that the text here is clearly teaching. And so then we come to verse 25. Vaya'as Elohim et hayat ha'aretz lemina, va'et ha'behema lemina, va'et kol remes ha'adama leminehu vayar Elohim ki tov. And God made the wild animals of the earth according to their kind, and the domesticated beasts to their kind, and the creeping things of the earth to its kind, and God saw that it was good. It's interesting as I look at this particular verse. We have the Lord's creation of animals of the earth, and it is good, and shows his great love, I think, of diversity in his creation of animals. And all of this precedes the creation of humankind in verse 26. One of the things that I had said a minute ago that fascinates my wife and I, we have been watching on TV the Australian Zoo, and then even the zoo here in the zoo in New York. It's amazing to me how God has how He has such variety, and how each little area of His creation you have male and female, and how everything is so systematically created. It is true, as they say, a watch demands a watchmaker. And I think when I look at creation and all that is done, it certainly demands the watchmaker, which is God Himself. And as I read the New Testament, I'm reminded in John 1, verse 3, that all things were made through Him or by Him, speaking of the Word of Christ. And without Him was not anything made that was made.